Hi guys, this is Frank with Solid Sound in Atlanta. I am here today with a Maschine tutorial, Maschine from Native Instruments. Great rhythm box. Um, a lot of people want to kind of square it off in a corner as a hip hop tool. It is. I use it for that constantly, but there are tons of sounds included with the software, and you can use this as a controller as well for your other virtual instruments. So if you have different drum uh, VSTs, you can use it to trigger those, and it's got great pads. It's a good feeling machine. This tutorial is not a tutorial on how to use Maschine. This is simply how to set it up in Studio One to give you a multiple out scenario and a way to use it as a controller for itself, and that'll make more sense as we get started, because it's a little tricky. It's not hard, but it took me a minute to figure it out, and I've had enough calls to know that I'm not the only one that had trouble with it. So let's get started. We're going to jump into a song here. Just going to hit that. Going to create us a new song. So as you can see, we're ready to go. What we're going to do is jump over to our instruments here and select Maschine by dragging it over and letting it go. It's going to open. And here we are in the interface. And it seems like everybody can pretty much get to this point. Even loading a song in is not, I'm sorry, loading a kit in is not the problem. Let's grab one here. It doesn't really matter which one. We'll just do Dirty Urban. So I double click. It loads into here, and for the uninitiated, this is kind of where the trouble can start, because if you just start playing, sounds good. Sounds like, hey, I'm ready to go, right? Well, when you hit start right here, as you can see, it's already loaded a scene into Maschine. So basically, the way I work, the way I like to do things, I like to use Studio One over here, in my normal fashion, and I use the hardware from Maschine to control the virtual machine. And when I hit these pads, I want it to trigger MIDI notes inside of my digital audio workstation and record to the track in there so that I can go back and edit it later. That's just the way I work. So that's what this tutorial is going to kind of show you how to do. So let's go ahead, right click on the scene, it erases immediately. So now if we hit play again, there's nothing in here. There's nothing inside of Maschine's interface. There's no scene because I erased it. Now it's empty, so it's not going to play anything. So what we're trying to do in this tutorial is get these sounds, okay, inside of the Maschine track over here. Now if I just rewind and I hit record, all right, you think that's going to be in there, right? It's not. Do you see any MIDI triggered in here? No. And this is where I get my calls. People are like, I'm playing it, it's not triggering, it's not working. So logically you're thinking, okay, instead of all inputs here for my MIDI in, I'm just going to click here and I'm going to tell it, hey, I want Maschine to be my MIDI input. So I click that, play it. Now if you'll look over here, you will see MIDI trigger as a green little light that'll flash up and down. It's a meter, and it'll trigger when Maschine is sending MIDI to our DAW or to Studio One. You'll see it right here, And as you can tell, I'm hitting this and we're not seeing anything. There's still one more step we're missing. We have to go over here to our kit inside of the interface of Maschine, right click it, go to Sound MIDI Batch Setup. I'm going to click that. Now we're going to go down to Sounds to MIDI Notes. Click this. We're going to hit Apply. Now let's watch over here in this little area. Okay, I was wrong. It's not green, it's orange. But you see it. So that means that Studio One sees us playing that part. So let's go ahead now. I'm going to delete this. Let's start over. I'm going to go ahead and add a little metronome deal here. I'm going to slow this down a little too. So we're going to jump back. We're ready. My timing is horrible on this computer because it has a very high latency. Excuses, right? As you can see, there's our MIDI. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to play this. There it is. Now, let's say I am wanting to get different channels out of here and into Studio One. By different channels, I mean I don't want every sound. I don't want this to come through into Studio One as a stereo pair, as a 1 and 2, because I don't have, that does not give me many options to mix with. Right now it's stereo. It's left and right down here. That's the audio right in here. But with drums, you really need to get individual effects on each piece of the kit. You'll want to put a little reverb on a snare. You'll want to compress your kick a little, maybe a delay on a hi-hat, or whatever. But you can't do it this way because you only have this one stereo pair coming out of Maschine to work with. So what you're going to want to do is go up here to our channels section right here. And as you can see right now, it's going out 1 to Maschine out. So let's just go ahead and go out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will do them all just so that you get an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, as I hit them, you can see them come up down here. So now we have, is it 16? 16 outs, 16 outputs right here. So what we have to do now is go back into our Maschine interface, and we have to send each one of our sounds. Let's change this view a little. That's kind of hard to see. That's a little better. So here are all of our sounds that we loaded into Maschine, 1 through 16. Okay. But if you notice, as I play them, they're still only coming in stereo right here into Studio One. So what you have to do is go into Maschine, and you have to tell Maschine where you want these to go out. And to do that, which channel you want them to go out on. So we hit our output right here, okay? This can change to each individual. You can basically choose an output for each individual piece of your your kit here. So for the kick, let's say the kick, I'm going to choose output 1, snare, let's go out 2, and just we'll match these numbers up. 3, 4, 5. We'll stop at 6. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and go to 8. There's 7. I'm going to go one more to 8. Now, watch what happens. Let's make this small again so you can see the screen a little better down here. So watch what happens as I play. Look right here at 1 through 8. And I'm going to play starting here. Do you see how now we have each individual channel coming out of Maschine and into Studio One, allowing us to really mix our drums just like individual pieces of the kit you can mix, as opposed to just a left-right signal, because you're not going to want the same amount of reverb that you have on this snare on every piece. It'll just muddy it up if you put it on everything. So just as an example, let's go ahead. We'll put a simple, let's go to our effects folder over here. We'll just find something easy. Jump into PreSonus here. Room reverb. Let's go by category. PreSonus. Reverb. We'll do a room reverb and we'll drag it onto our snare. Let's choose, it doesn't matter what, an arena, just for something huge. You guys hear that? But when I hit my kick, just like it was, everything else, no reverb. So that's how you do it. And I could have each one of these pads here go out into Studio One. I could totally mix each individual piece of the kit and put reverb, put effects, anything individually I want to, and really get the power of my DAW, my workstation, which is Studio One, into each one of these tracks, as opposed to having to try to use the effects that are built into Maschine, which are not bad, but you're just not going to get the same level of control over each one of these tracks as you do when you bring it out into your digital audio workstation. So in a nutshell, that's it. That's how I set up Maschine inside of Studio One. Hopefully it helps you guys out. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I can't promise to answer all questions, but I will monitor the video channel and do my best with it. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. God bless.